Hello everyone and welcome back to STW Sports, and today I'm going to be reviewing the EFL weekend from October the 30th until October the 31st. Starting off as usual, of course, with the Championship. Friday 30th of October, Coventry City 3, Reading 2. Well, Reading have finally lost a game this season after Reading have made the best ever start to a Championship season of any club. They finally got brought back down to earth with a 3-2 loss to Coventry. Come as a surprise, bearing in mind Coventry have made a pretty bad start, really. This win has lifted them up the table, but still, I mean, Coventry, what a result for them this is. Reading, is this a setback or is Reading's form going to dip now? We're yet to see. We'll find out this week when they face Preston how they respond. But as for Coventry, this could be a massive win for them. Could be a season-defining win for them if they can kick on now. Great win for them. They played very well, Coventry. Reading, is it, like I said, is it a bad day at the office, or are we seeing a dip in form? Moving on to Saturday the 31st of October, Bristol City 1, Norwich City 3. Great result for Norwich this. Timu, Pukki and Buendia were back to their 2 years ago form when Norwich won the Championship, of course. But Pukki was excellent, and so too was Buendia, to be fair. Buendia was actually very, very good in this match, to be fair to him. But Naki Wells missed what was a really bad penalty. I mean, it was one of them penalties that he just tried to be clever and he got it wrong. One that just looked stupid. But as for Norwich, brilliant win for them. They're in very good form at the moment. But as for Bristol City though, bad form. No win in 5 after winning all their opening 4 games. No win in 5 games. Bad form for Bristol City. They have to recover soon. Luton Town 0, Brentford 3. Very good result for Brentford this. Brentford always seem to beat Luton convincingly. That's one of them teams Luton just can't turn up against. Easy 3-0 win for Brentford this, so they were very good, very dominant display. Brentford is languishing in 9th at the moment, not the best. Luton have actually had a good start. Brentford's start's been okay, but for Brentford, they'd certainly expect better. They'll be able to kick on from this result, though. An easy win for them. Bad result for Luton, but still, they've started all right under Nathan Jones. Swansea City 2, Blackburn Rovers 0. Yep, Swansea City are now second in the Championship table after a very good win over Blackburn. Blackburn had a good start. They've had a very mixed form since Blackburn. They're very on and off at the moment. Swansea, though, very good start for them. Another good win for them, 2-0. Played well again. Swansea could be right up there this season. They're looking very good at the moment. Stoke City 1, Rotherham 0. Yep, Stoke City have also had a good start to the season. Another win for them. They currently sit 8th in the Championship, I believe it is. Yeah, good start for Stoke. A 1-0 win over Rotherham. Wasn't the best game, to be fair. It was a bit of a, one of them dull fests you kind of get in the Championship now and then. But Stoke got the win, so they won't care. A 1-0 win. Rotherham have had a pretty decent start. Much better than they usually start in the Championship. As for Stoke, the important thing is they got 3 points. And yeah, they up to 8th. And it's been their best start to a Championship season for a very long time anyway. Certainly better than the last 2 years they've been in it. Barnsley 1, Watford 0. What a win for Barnsley this was over Watford. Barnsley, under their new manager, have made a very good start. 2 wins out of 2 under the new coach. And yeah, another 1-0 win here over Watford. Watford still remain in the playoffs despite the defeat. But still, though, as for Barnsley, they can really kick on from this. Barnsley, I think it will be a huge success if they do stay up this season after just surviving last season due to Wigan's points deduction. They'll really be hoping they can put a run of form together. So far, so good. 2 straight wins, 2 clean sheets. Barnsley are on their way. As for Watford, another setback for them. Struggling to score goals away from home at the moment, Watford, I will say that. Not struggling to find the net on their travels. Bournemouth 1, Derby 1. I guess this could be considered an upset, really. I mean, Derby are currently sitting in the relegation zone in 22nd after a terrible start to the season. As for Bournemouth, though, they've had a good start, but this was a disappointing draw, really. A 1-1 draw. Derby took the lead early doors. Bournemouth pegged back, and unfortunately they couldn't get the winner. They had to settle for a 1-1 draw. Bournemouth are starting to drop a few unnecessary points at home, but they do remain unbeaten. They've had a pretty good start this season, and I do expect them to probably be up there the way they're going, but this was a setback for them, but a result for Derby that they can hopefully kick on from. QPR 3, Cardiff City 2. A very eventful game, this one. 2 teams very much out of form at the moment. Cardiff's away form has been good, though. It wasn't the case here, though. A 3-2 defeat. They were 2-0 down. They brought it back to 2-2, thinking they nicked a point, but QPR scored in the very last minute to make it 3-2. Good result for QPR, this one. And yet, again, they'll be able to take inspiration. They've had a pretty bad start, QPR, so wins like this, especially last-minute goals, can really up their confidence. As for Cardiff, they need a lift from somewhere. Next up, we have Middlesbrough 1, Nottingham Forest 0. Yeah, I mean, Middlesbrough have had they're unbeaten since the opening day, Middlesbrough. A stat that I didn't really think was true until I looked the other day, but Middlesbrough have had a brilliant start, though. They're fourth in the table. Is Neil Warnock going to guide them to another promotion? After a very disappointing season last season, mainly under Jonathan Woodgate, Neil Warnock's came in and really steadied the ship. Warnock's a great Championship manager, we all know that. But still, a 1-0 win over Forest. They haven't got going yet under Chris Hughton. Forest, just the one win in his first game. They haven't quite kicked on, though. As for Middlesbrough, great for them. What form they're in at the moment. Forest, though, they need to start picking up wins from somewhere. They're on a bad time of it at the moment. Next up, we have Preston North End 1, Birmingham City 2. Preston North End haven't taken a single point at home yet this season. Terrible start for Preston. I mean, they're just at home anyway. They're doing well away from home. They just can't get a run together at home, though. 2-1 loss here to Birmingham. Very disappointing result. Alex Neil, I mean, he's, when's he going to take Preston forward? We're not too sure. Difficult, though. They haven't spent much in the window. As for Birmingham, good result for them. Back-to-back wins now for Birmingham to do their confidence the world of good and take them up to mid-table for now. Next up, Millwall 0, Huddersfield Town 3. I guess you've got to say one of the biggest upsets of the weekend. Millwall very much tipped for promotion against Huddersfield Town team, who were very much tipped to go, not to go down, but to be in the relegation battle. A 3-0 win for Huddersfield. Huddersfield have actually started quite well overall, really. They're in a decent position at the moment. This 3-0 win over Millwall, yeah, 2 of the goals were late while Millwall were chasing the game, but still, what a result for Huddersfield, though, to come away with Millwall with a convincing 3-0 win. As for Millwall, I'm convinced it's just a minor setback. Millwall have now dropped out of the playoffs, though. It's early days yet, though. Millwall, for me, will still go on to have a good season. This was a bad result on the road. And Wycombe Wanderers 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Yeah, I mean, this was a huge game down the bottom of the table, of course. Sheffield Wednesday with that points deduction. Sheffield Wednesday were having a good start, and all of a sudden, it's kind of really starting to see the wheels fall off again. A 1-0 defeat to Wycombe. Wycombe's first win in the Championship this season. A massive win for Wycombe. Wycombe will be hoping they can build on this. As for Sheffield Wednesday, a bad result. Pressure is mounting on Gary Monk all of a sudden. He needs to start getting results sooner rather than later. But still, great result though for Wycombe. What a boost this could be for them. And moving on to Game of the Week, I've gone QPR 3, Cardiff City 2. Great result for QPR. They needed this in the end, and a last-minute goal. This game had a comeback and a last-minute winner. So yeah, I mean, overall, you've got to say it was a very good game, and easily for me, the Championship game of the weekend. A good game between two out-of-form teams as well. Result of the week, Millwall 0, Huddersfield Town 3. For me, this is quite an obvious one. Great result for Huddersfield. No one would have said they'd go away to Millwall and win 3-0. Maybe nick a draw, or maybe edge a win, but not a 3-0 win. A great result for them. And top scorer in the league, Adam Armstrong and Ivan Toney are both tied on 9 goals. What a start it's been for the season for them. Yep, good start. And Adam Armstrong, of course, back 2 in the week as well, of course, against Reading, which has elevated him up there. Great start for them. Moving on now to League 1, Saturday the 31st of October. We start with the early game, Gillingham 0, Sunderland 2. Good result for Sunderland, who recovered after their 3-1 loss to Portsmouth last week. And yeah, great result for them overall, though I think Sunderland have actually played since then, but still, 2-0 win, and it was the goal scored quite late. Gillingham were down to 10 men, they were playing with 10 men for quite a while, about half an hour of the second half, but Sunderland did enough to win the game, and they've moved back into the playoffs, I believe, so a great win for Sunderland, a very much a needed win for Sunderland as well to keep up their momentum. Rochdale 1, Bristol Rovers 1. I mean, this is 2 mid-table teams going at it, and the game very much felt like that. It was a pretty much one of them unconvincing 1-1 draws where both teams are probably happy with a point overall. But still, fair play. Burton Albion 1, Blackpool 2. This was a big game at the bottom of the table, really. Burton Albion are in big trouble. They're 23rd at the moment. What a result though for Blackpool. They'll be hoping to build on this, really, Blackpool. They need to start getting wins together. They're on their way at the moment, though. This was a big win, a 2-1 win away at their, at the moment, relegation rivals. I still think Blackpool will turn it round and be up there this season, though. But yeah, this was a big win for them, but a bad result for Burton. Peterborough 5, Shrewsbury Town 1. What a win this was for Peterborough, convincingly smashing Shrewsbury Town 5-1. Although it was Shrewsbury Town with 10 men, to be fair, but still. Peterborough, though, very good form at home until their weird 2-2 draw with Burton Albion in the week. Very weird drop points there. That's League 1 for you. But yeah, Peterborough, though, 5-1 against Shrewsbury. Convincing win. Shrewsbury in big trouble right now. They've had a terrible start to the season. Good result, though, for Peterborough. Ipswich Town 1, Crewe Alexandra 0. Crewe haven't had the worst start, to be fair to them. It's always going to be tough for them to come up against teams like Ipswich, but Ipswich got a 1-0 win. They edged them out. They did well enough, and they just got over the line. That's the only thing to say about this game. Ipswich Town are now joint top of the table. Portsmouth 0, Charlton Athletic 2. Two very informed teams coming into this game, very informed. Charlton picked up the win, though, a 2-0 victory at Fratton Park. Charlton haven't conceded a goal in the last 5 games, I believe it is. They've really turned a corner. Early season, I was tipping they'd have a really struggling season, Charlton, but they've really turned a corner, really looking good at the moment. They'll be able to keep this up and bounce straight back up to the Championship. Next up, Fleetwood Town 2, Oxford United 0. What a disastrous start it's been for Oxford, bottom of the League One table. League One playoff finalist last season, a game away from the Championship. All of a sudden, they're bottom of the League One table. Amazing how football can change just in a few months, and that's exactly what's happened. Fleetwood, though, good win for them. They're starting to become a bit of form now under Joey Barton. He'll be very happy indeed with the club's current form. It's an easy enough win, 2-0. MK Dons 1, AFC Wimbledon 1. Of course, this is the battle of MK Dons and Wimbledon, the London rivalry. The game wasn't great, though. It was, as you know, fans certainly contributed to that. The lack of fans did definitely hurt this game. A 1-1 draw that really wasn't that convincing. It was pretty much a bit of a dull fest. But I mean, both teams will probably take a draw in the end. It was probably a fair result, but still fair play. Swindon Town 2, Hull City 1. What a result for Swindon this was. Swindon are very much relying on their home form this season. This was a great, even without the fans, this was a great example of that. A 2-1 win over Hull. Who'd have thought this before the game? Again, you get results like this in League One. Swindon played very well. They came from behind to win the game as well. Everyone thought Hull were going to win this, quite comfortably. What a result for Swindon. They pull away slightly from the relegation zone for now. An easy enough 2-1 win. Well, I say easy enough. A well hard-fought 2-1 win for them. Wigan Athletic 2, Northampton Town 3. Wigan Athletic are on terrible form at the moment. They've dropped into the relegation zone, in fact. Just not going their way at the moment, Wigan. They just can't get any form together after their relegation due to their points deduction last year. More bad news for them. They lost to Northampton 3-2. I don't know what's going on at Wigan. They just can't get any form together. They're on a really bad spell at the moment. They'll be open to turn this round, but Wigan could well be battling relegation in League One this season, which I never thought would happen. Thought they might struggle in mid-table, but not relegation. 3-2 defeat, great result though for Northampton. Doncaster Rovers 1, Lincoln City 0. Great result this for Doncaster. Doncaster have been very hit and miss this year. They've had good results and bad results, but Lincoln though, they've had a good start to the season, but this was a minor setback for them. Lincoln's form is starting to dip ever so slightly all of a sudden though. They do need to address this, but great result for Doncaster, a 1-0 win. Tough place to go. Doncaster made it very difficult for them. Moving on now to game of the weekend, Peterborough 5, Shrewsbury Town 1. I know it was a hammering, but I'm going to say this because how well Peterborough played, even though that was against 10 men. There wasn't many great games this weekend in League One though. I'm just going to have to say it was this one because Peterborough played very well. And yeah, they've had a great start all of a sudden. Peterborough, they're joint top, well they are top of the table on goal difference, so yeah, they're doing well. Swindon Town 2, Hull City 1 is my shock result of the weekend. I mean, yeah, this was the result of the weekend. What a result for Swindon. I think they can really kick on from this, to be fair. As for Hull, they're still joint top, but a minor setback for them. I still think Hull are going to have a good season. They've lost 3 games now, Hull, though. They're starting to rack up a few losses, but as long as they're up there, they won't really be bothered too much, as long as the wins outweigh them. But yeah, and top scorer is Johnson Clark Harris, whose hat-trick with Peterborough elevated him up there, and George Grant, they're both on 6 goals. Not as much as the Championship, but yeah, fair play to them. Good starts to the season. Moving on now to League 2. 31st of October, early game, Exeter City 1, Carlisle United 0. Great result for Exeter. Exeter are really making a bit of a push all of a sudden in League 2. I do think Exeter are going to have a good season this season, to be fair, and they proved it again here. A 1-0 win over Carlisle. And yeah, Exeter go above Carlisle with a win. 2 teams in very good form, so this was a very important game. It is important to note Carlisle United had 10 men. I feel like I'm saying a lot in this video that teams had 10 men. A lot of people sent off at the weekend. But yeah, good win though for Exeter. They kick on. Leyton Orient 4, Bolton Wanderers 0. What a terrible start Bolton Wanderers have had in League 2. They got a win in the week against Bradford. They just can't get a run of form together. 4-0 to Leyton Orient. Convincing hammering for them. And yeah, what a result for Leyton Orient. What a bad result for Bolton though. Saddens me to see Bolton start this bad, as I've mentioned so many times in these previous videos. Stevenage 0, Grimsby Town 0. Yeah, 2 unconvincing teams with an unconvincing 0-0 draw. This was. It wasn't really anything to report on, to be honest. A dull fest, 0-0. Barrow 1, Bradford City 0. Well, Barrow, London Buzzers, as they say. Barrow have waited for a win all season. They've been so close, and now they've got 2 in a week. Great win for Barrow. I don't know what's going on with Bradford. They've had a really bad start to the season, but I do think Bradford will turn it around somewhere, but I can't keep saying that all along, though. Yeah, a 1-0 loss here to Barrow. What a result for them. Barrow will be very much hoping to take these back-to-back wins as very much needed momentum. As for Bradford, they need to find results from somewhere. Newport County, 2? Harrogate Town, 1. I do feel sorry. Harrogate did very well in this game. Harrogate have dropped all of a sudden. They're now, I think, 9th in League 2. They had a very good start. They're in the playoffs a couple of weeks ago. Not the case now, though. They've dipped slightly. Newport, though, did have to wait, though. Newport are top of the table. Let's not forget that as well. Yeah, 2-1 win for them. It was in the very near the last minute as well. They scored the winner against 10-man Harrogate. So Harrogate can be proud of their efforts, but they got no points for it. What a result. Good result, though, for Newport. They stayed top. Great start to the season. Mansfield Town 1, Walsall 1. I mean, Mansfield have had a terrible start, so to hold Walsall to 1-1 draw, even at home, wasn't really a bad result for them. Walsall have had a pretty disappointing start so far. Again, they need to find some form from somewhere. Tranmere Rovers 0, Morecambe 1. Oh, I had Tranmere to win League 2. Tranmere have parted ways with their manager, understandably so. It's been a terrible start for Tranmere. A 1-0 loss to Morecambe. Yeah, I think the manager kind of deserves to be sacked in a way. He's had a terrible start, unfortunately. I don't like saying that the manager deserves to be sacked and everything, but in League 2, Tranmere need to be doing better than this. Good result, though, for Morecambe, whose recent dip in form, they've made up for it a little bit with this 1-0 win. Tranmere need to find... I had Tranmere to win League 2, so they better do something. You better do something, Tranmere. Southend United 0, Port Vale 2. What a bad start to the season this has been for Southend. They're rock bottom of the table right now. They need to turn it round. What a result. Good result, though, for Port Vale. 2-0. Yeah, they'll take this any day of the week. Port Vale, I do think, will also be up there this season. Crawley Town 2, Cambridge United 1. Yeah, what a result for Crawley. Crawley, all of a sudden, are putting a bit of form together, actually. A 2-1 win over top of the table. Cambridge. Crawley's home form is very much what could do them well this season. A good win for them. Cambridge near the top of the table, a minor setback for them. They are having these minor setbacks now and then, Cambridge, but it's never plain sailing in these leagues, though, is it? Salford City 2, Oldham Athletic 0. Oh, seeing Paul Scholes and Harry Kewell manage teams makes me feel old, I must say. Like, I'm seeing Paul Scholes and Harry Kewell in the technical area against each other. How weird is that? But still, 2-0 Salford, good win for them. Scholes had a good start, actually. I mean, he was before manager of Oldham. This is like the Paul Scholes derby, of course. 2-0 win to Salford, good result for them. And Oldham's start, still not been great. They've had a couple of wins recently, but they still need results under Harry Kewell, though. As for Salford, it's been a pretty good start despite sacking their manager and Scholes coming in. They've done quite well. Moving on to Game of the Week, I've gone Leyton Orient 4, Bolton Wanderers 0. Mainly because who'd have thought this would have been a result a couple of years ago? Well, even like 2 or 3 years ago when Leyton Orient nearly went bust, beating Bolton Wanderers, who were in the Championship, 4-0. What a great result, though, for them. Convincing. I mean, Bolton were terrible, but still, Bolton would need to bounce back, though, from this after a very damaging defeat. Result of the week, Crawley Town 2, Cambridge United 1. I mean, I'm not saying it's a major upset, because Crawley had just come off the back of a 4-0 victory over Tranmere, but still, what a result, though, this was for Crawley, sorry. Cambridge, it's another setback for them, but I do think Cambridge will recover. They're doing well this season, Cambridge. They're very free scoring. They're just having days like this now and then. And top scorer is Mullin from Cambridge with 11 goals. What a start to the season he's had. He's in fine form. Didn't find the net, though, in their 2-1 defeat to Crawley. At least I think he didn't anyway. But yeah, that is all for this week's EFL reviews. I'll be back with a midweek review this week. I haven't done midweek reviews yet, but I might. Yeah, I might have. But yeah, I don't think I have. Midweek reviews, I'll be back with that soon. And yeah, this is my EFL reviews, October 30th, October 31st. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with more content. Thank you.